like school districts who most are resuming classes today. What do you tell families? What's your message
Our schools will be open in the state of Florida. This is not, first of all, if you look at the data that's been amassed throughout the pandemic, it's found that you have worse outcomes by closing schools in terms of whatever community prevalence is. The schools are not driving this. We know 100% that's true, and so it'd be so damaging not to do that. So kids need to be in school. They do not need to be doing any crazy mitigation. Just let them be kids. I think it's pretty clear a lot of this mitigation, it hasn't worked, period, but for Omicron, I mean, just think a lot of the places that have had massive surges recently have vaccine passports, have mandates, have restrictions, have a lot of that stuff, and yet this thing just kind of blows right through it. And so they need to be in school. Parents need to be assured that they're going to be able to send their kids to school. One of the best things that we did this school year with Dr. Latipo was get rid of healthy quarantining of kids, where you'd have one person test positive and you'd send healthy kids home, and almost none of them would end up testing positive themselves. So they were kept out of school for so long, and that was bad policy by CDC. With Joe, we revised that and said, actually, if you're symptomatic, send home. But if you're healthy, you need to be in school. And that is our policy. We think that flows out of the rights of parents to have their kids educated, and we're not going to deviate on that. And the places that are closing schools, if you look at some of those states that are doing it, the communities that they're doing it in are mostly affecting working class and low income and poor kids. That's who it's affecting. Those are the folks that are least able to bear the burdens of some of this mitigation, and yet that's what's happening. So that's the wrong approach. In Florida, we absolutely want the kids in school, and we know the data has been very clear for a long time that whenever there's any type of wave, it's not the schools that are driving the wave. In fact, the Delta wave in the South was a great example. We brought the schools in just as this thing was peaking, and basically it totally crashed and went down for 3 months. And then when we've seen Omicron take off, the schools were largely adjourned for Christmas break when we saw that. And so there's not a correlation there. But I'd also say the same thing with our state universities. You're seeing some of these other universities around the country, some of them are even doing shelter in place over Omicron for what, a 20-year-old college student? I mean, it's absolutely insane what's going on. Our universities are going to be open, our state universities. They're going to have in-person instruction. And I think any university that doesn't do that should have to refund 100% of the tuition to the parents.